course is primarily focused on transferring information, where a coaching program is really going to be focused on actual transformation. I know there are some fitness coaches or even nutrition coaches who are maybe texting their clients. Maybe they text them every morning at 6 a.m. to help them stay on track. There's a lot of mindset shifts that I have to pull people through, and there's a lot of things that I'm teaching them that is counterintuitive, that they might feel like, wow, like I didn't realize that I'm going to be doing this. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And with that, today, I want to talk to you about the difference between a coaching program and a course, and which one you should focus on creating. So, full disclaimer, I'm a big fan of both, and I have a lot in my website. In fact, if you click the link below, you'll see a listing of all the current courses and programs that I'm offering at this time. And having a variety of courses and programs is what really allowed me to build my business. So if you really want to be a successful coach online, understand that not only is there room in your business for both of them, and there's a place in your business for both of them, you over time will definitely want to have both of them, because that's really going to help you create a lot of reoccurring revenue and generate more sales in your business. That said, it might make sense to focus on one versus the other, depending on the kind of niche that you're in, the type of coaching that you're offering, and really your business strategy. So with that, let's break it down, get into all of the nitty-gritty when it comes to whether or not you should be creating a course or a coaching program. So what is a course? A course is essentially a self-paced, self-study program that your client or customer can go through in order to learn something from you. So many of us are very familiar with courses. Maybe you have taken courses from other coaches, other experts. Typically, these are on platforms like Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific, and it's essentially around a specific subject and a specific outcome that that person is looking to get, and you are providing your information. Maybe you're doing screen sharing of slides, maybe you're doing direct to camera just like I am, maybe you have some worksheets that they need to complete, but it's a very specifically designed curriculum that someone is working through. They're getting this information. Again, it is self-paced, so it's something that they can go through at their own pace in order to figure out how to achieve the thing that you coach on. And yeah, that's the course that you have in your business. Now, this is a little different than a coaching program. And so some of the descriptors that I'm going to give on a coaching program sound very similar, but we will also go into the differences for them. So a coaching program also is a container that really gets someone focused on a particular subject matter or a particular outcome that they are looking to achieve. Again, it should be a curriculum, meaning there are specific milestones that they need to hit. It's a methodology that you have devised in order to help people get from point A to point B. So with those descriptions, it's kind of like, okay, but what's the difference between a course and a coaching program? Because they sound very similar. And the main difference is that a course is primarily focused on transferring information, where a coaching program is really going to be focused on actual transformation. And this is not to say that one is better than the other, but typically coaching programs tend to be a bit more comprehensive than courses, because again, it's focused on the transformation. Also, because it's a coaching program and not a course, typically there's some coaching element in there. So you'll find that while there might be pre-recorded modules that someone is going through as a result of a coaching program, there's also maybe live calls where they're speaking with you as the coach, or if you have a team of coaches working for you, where they can ask questions, get the feedback that they need. Maybe there's some sort of method where they can submit questions, or, I've seen coaches do it a variety of ways. Maybe they get unlimited Voxer access. Voxer is very popular in the coaching industry. It's basically like a walkie-talkie app that you put on your phone. And so some coaches like to, again, have those pre-recorded self-paced modules in the same way that you would have a course, but then they like to also add some sort of live engagement element, whether it's weekly Zoom calls or bi-weekly Zoom calls or monthly Zoom calls, or again, this Voxer walkie-talkie app where someone can submit questions. Maybe it's something super basic where as they are going through the modules, they can just send you emails about questions that they have, and you're coaching them all the way through. I know there are some fitness coaches or even nutrition coaches who are maybe texting their clients. Maybe they text them every morning at 6 a.m. to help them stay on track. Or if you're a fitness coach, maybe you're meeting with clients in person in addition to the meal plan that you've prescribed for them and the kind of curriculum that they're following in order to do their workouts or to transform transform their body or what have you. So coaching programs tend to be very transformation oriented, where courses tend to be very information oriented, meaning that not that transformation can't happen, but the transformation is more so the responsibility strictly on the client, right? The coach is not necessarily making themselves available to kind of guide you and give you real-time accountability to help you get that transformation. The coach is essentially saying, hey, I'm gonna give you all this information, but you're on your own when it comes to actually applying this information and getting the transformation that you are looking for. So that's the primary difference between a course and a coaching program. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I wanna hear from you. Which of the two are you working on? Are you working on a course or a coaching program? Share in the comments below. All right, so now that we've explained the differences, you might be wondering, well, which one should I be focused on? Especially maybe if I'm just getting started in my business, or maybe you've been in business for a while. Which one seems to make the most sense? Well, again, it really depends on the person. It really depends on also the type of information or transformation, or really the subject matter that the course or the coaching program is about. So a good rule of thumb that I like to give people is, if this is something that is more of a smaller topic, you might want to consider putting that in a course, meaning it's something that really the only thing that the person is missing is information, right? But it's something that they should be able to apply on their own. And once they get that information, they're kind of off to the races. So I really like courses for teaching things that are kind of that missing piece, right? Depending on what you're coaching on, maybe the client that you're targeting has all the other pieces in place for whatever niche that you're in, but they're just missing one little thing. And so it's great to have a course that really speaks to that one little thing so that they can be off to the races. I think about courses maybe for new moms or sleep deprived parents. You know, my daughter will be turning 2 soon, but I remember staying up in the middle of the night and being online looking at like baby sleep training, how to get your baby to sleep, should you do cry it out, not cry it out, you know, whatever, right? So I remember thinking, man, if I just had one piece of information that would help my child go to sleep more, I promise I will implement that information, right? So a course was sufficient because for what I needed and what my needs were, I was simply just missing some information, and I was just like, man, if I could just plug that in, I would be great, right? I was highly motivated. So you also have to consider the niche you're in the sense that, is there a lot of intrinsic motivation that your target market is naturally gonna have in order to apply this? Also, you wanna consider, is there a lot of room for error? Is there a lot of ways that they can mess this up, right? So if you don't have very strong intrinsic motivation, or the client is likely to kind of like give up or quit because what you are asking them to do is very difficult. So we see this a lot in weight loss, fitness, sometimes health things, because it's based on habit and craving. And even though the person might have a strong intrinsic motivation, they're just naturally gonna fall off after a while if they don't have that, you know, somebody physically either with them or calling them or giving them some sort of accountability. So if you're finding that the information that you're providing, again, the person is intrinsically motivated, there's not a lot of room for error in terms of them getting the information and applying it, and they don't really need someone to hold their feet to the fire. So in my instance, I really, really wanted my daughter to sleep. I was like, just give me this information and I promise I'll do whatever you tell me to do. A course is sufficient, right? I didn't need a coach per se in order to help me with that. However, if you are in a industry where there's a lot of room for error, so someone could maybe misinterpret the information that you are giving, or there's a specific way that they need to apply it to their unique situation, or again, in the instance of eating, nutrition, weight loss, like old habits die hard, they really need someone holding their feet to the fire, that's when you might want to consider offering a coaching program. And so as I mentioned in my business, I have both, because depending on the subject matter that I'm speaking about, you know, it might make more sense for it to be in a coaching program versus in a course, or vice versa. So I have courses on very specific kind of micro topics, but then I have coaching programs that are more comprehensive, right? So my flagship coaching program, the Next Big Name, really shows you how to build a successful online coaching brand from A to Z, from scratch, shows you how to be competition proof and go from unknown to the next big thing in your industry. I know that in that program, there's a lot of mindset shifts that I have to pull people through. And there's a lot of things that I'm teaching them that is counterintuitive, that, you know, they might feel like, wow, like I didn't realize that I'm gonna be doing this. So that's why it was important for me to, in addition, have those self-paced modules, to also make sure that there was a live coaching element where you can get feedback from myself or my team of coaches. That was important for me because I knew the people who are going through this transformation, because this was something radically different for them. Again, it's, very different from what they're expecting, or maybe different from information that they've heard previously when it comes to building an online business, that it was really important for me to have that coaching there to kind of hold their feet to the fire and make sure that they get the transformation, right? But there's other things where, that's not the case, right? I have small courses on things like how to create social media, right? You don't necessarily need a lot of accountability or coaching interaction on that. I can just give you the missing piece, right? Exactly how to create your social media, and then you can be off to the races. So that's the difference between a course and a coaching program. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you're in the midst of building your coaching program, and if you're in the midst of really building your entire business, I invite you to join my coaching program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, which is really gonna show you not only how to create a coaching program and then package it and turn it into a course, but really how to create an entire brand that is going to help you be wildly successful online. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can click the link below to apply. And if accepted, you'll be able to schedule a call with someone on my team who will give you all of the details and help you enroll in the program. And so with that, thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you can't wait to my next video, make sure that you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show. And if you can't wait for my next video or my next podcast, make sure that you are following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders. I only have one Instagram account. The spammers are in full force, unfortunately. I would never misspell my own name, so I have just one Instagram account. It's CourtneyLSanders, no numbers, no underscores. It's spelled correctly, but I would love it if you would follow me there and we can continue the conversation. And so with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.